And we're going to start off with this because Lingardian Leviosa. And yeah, I forgot to unmute my mic, so there's some funny things to pop into. And welcome back to Babylon 5, a.k.a. Keith chimes in. That was a new intro I was working on for the last hour, maybe hour and a half. Let me know what you think about it. And let's get into bringing our panel on. It's been a great day. It's been a long week. And we are now back into everything. First thing we have is Kate. Hello. Hi, Kate.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going. We have Monkey Jeebas always screaming Khan.
Hey.
And of course, the Dega Outlaw with the Crisco joke coming.
And it smells like bacon here.
And that was lovely. Thank you for coming on, Adega. You've been a great time at the show. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Hey, you didn't mention Crisco.
Nope. I'm making chicken crack. You gotta have bacon for chicken crack. And it smells like bacon.
And Darius, it's okay, man, if you miss a show. It's not like it's a mandatory thing. You don't ever have to apologize as long as you guys showing up every week. You're eventually going to miss one. Thank you, though. I appreciate it, though. We have a member to the channel, of course, Arwen Avalon saying laughing my ass off, my favorite drunk meme. Yeah, it was a very hard spell to cast. All that sexy goodness. I don't know why I said it like that. And we have Colin P. Smith, who didn't like my first poll, but that's okay. I changed it. And then who else? Oh, we have the Stream Elements bot, who is never shutting up. And how are you guys doing? We're waiting for Keith, Memes, and other people to show up because they fell asleep. They were playing with Explorer. I guess they just passed the fuck out.
Or hanging out with drunk.
Or that too. You never know. But other than that, what did you guys think of that new intro? Yes or no?
That's fun. That's good.
What about you, Adega?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. No, actually, I thought it was okay. It was good. Like I told you before, I kind of missed the voiceover, but everything tied in really nice. It looked good.
I can still add those in later, so that's what people actually were liking. They were liking the audio tabs that came over top of it. Stay tuned throughout the show. We do have a special announcement, and I can't wait to share it. I've been trying to keep special like a short bus. We have something popping in. We have a special announcement, and I'm going to say this now. Keith, don't spoil it. No one else spoil it. Oh, he missed the intro. You missed the intro, Keith. I made a whole new intro, and you were late, like usual. That's great. That's great. Thanks a lot. How you doing?
Morning.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Good morning.
Sorry I missed the intro. But I do know what the news is, so I'll just let Steven have at it.
You've been let in on a secret? Oh, my word.
This is not coming till later. This is really not coming till later. I just got the stuff today, so I'm not going to do it till we get more people in the chat. I know a lot of people are rushing home right now. Arvin Alman says, hey, Keith. And we're getting close to fucking shit hitting the fan in a good way. Like, honestly, and now for a word it's a great episode within itself because it's showing how the outside world, especially when it comes to news media, can warp and twist the points of views of actual events happening and how it even seems to be partake today's day events. And they even like for this in the 90s, it still has a lot of situational value and reality to today's standards. And it's kind of scary. That's like a predicament.
History repeats itself.
This was also right around the time that 24/7 News was starting to become a thing. So that is very interesting that they would have a future network that is literally 24/7 throughout a galaxy. And it's poignant that they would be like, hey, guess what's going to happen? And fast forward 25 years and oh, look.
The overarching reason why this episode was something that I think JMS and the writers wanted to do was because JMS, I think like me, is someone who grew up on a lot of television of the 70s. And while I'm not the biggest fan of this television show, it was a show that really was groundbreaking in a lot of the stuff that it did. And in some ways, you could also say that show had an effect on Babylon 5, and that was MASH. And there was an episode of MASH where you actually got a chance to see what all the characters were like when a film crew stopped by to actually film them. And the entire episode was done like this. So I think that was really the real impetus for this particular episode. I think that episode also, I think, was nominated and won quite a few Emmys for MASH.
Hey, Daryl.
But no, this is still a very, very effective episode.
It is, because it's showing like even with a station that's supposed to be like the last best hope, or our last best hope for peace, especially like a neutral ground where racers are supposed to get together, they were still able to twist the whole. What the fuck was that?
This episode was like an episode of The Office.
Pretty in a way, but it was also pretty much dedicating the fact that no matter how situated a neutral ground is, there will always be people on the outside who don't know how to give an unbiased opinion when it comes to news. And it focuses more on the news. You have to act different because the camera is always on. And
sometimes even when you're doing the right thing, if no one has all of the information, even doing the right thing can be made to seem like it's the wrong thing. This is the first of, I think, 2 times that this type of a thing will come up in Babylon 5. Yeah. So there's going to be an episode coming up, I think, in season 4 or season 5. I think it's season 5, where this also comes up again, but in a slightly different context. But it'll be very effective when it does.
I think one of the best parts of this episode is how the interaction with Sheridan and Ivanova. You can see how good of friends they are, even as command staff, because they have that little nudge moment where they're like, "Hey, camera," and he's like clenching his teeth, smiling, going, "Hi, you bring him up by his wrist, and just politely as best you can." I like that part. You can to get them in the office. I'm like, yeah, all right. It's hard. That's like life, man. When you're under a camera the whole time, anything can be clipped. You can even put that to Twitch or YouTube, Facebook gaming, whatever time you're on camera, and you say something, it can be clipped and warped, and and then the whole message is warped as well as the meaning. And it's a scary thought what you can do today.
No, it's also within the context of what was going on at EarthGov at that same time. And that's what they're kind of leaning into with this particular episode. Everyone on Babylon 5, Sheridan especially, is starting to suspect something. And it is looking more and more like there's a lot more attention. There's a lot more stuff going on as far as what EarthGov expects of Babylon 5. And so this is one of those pressure points, in a way, from EarthGov to kind of sort of let Sheridan and everyone know that they are most definitely being watched.
Oh, of course. Monkey, you got cut off before. What was you about to say?
I was like, they can deep fake everything now. If they just get they can just get your photo, and they can like take all your words, like they'll like go through all your sound bites, and then they can make you say whatever they want. It's like all they have to do is get you to say certain sounds.
Well, at this point, they're getting now in reality for us. That technology is progressing. For right now, though, if you want something that is a little more authentic and can actually pass as words being said by a person, you would have to find someone that sounds like whoever you're trying to fake. And in the case of the film, there have been a multitude of films where they've done that, where you had to find sound-alikes for scenes from movies where you'll add back in scenes that have been cut, like in the film Spartacus, where they added back in a lot of the stuff from the original Spartacus movie that had been cut, and you had to dub certain voices because those particular actors were no longer alive.
They're starting to use AI to simulate stuff now.
Yes, I that I do know. But in the film Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, it's another good example where you take an actor who is no longer alive and you place them in a movie. And I think they found a sound alike for at least a sentence or two of dialogue that they ended up using for that particular scene. But yeah, you could see it even in the movie The Crow, which is a good example of using early techniques to fake a performance. So even in the film Batman Forever, which includes a completely CGI performance in that movie, the Val Kilmer Batman movie, there is one scene that is not real.
When he's on the helicopter?
Nope. There is one scene in that movie that is faked. And it was the very first time a scene like that had ever been used. And see, this is good movie history trivia. This scene is the scene that if you really wanted to point to something where you could actually fool people and have a completely faked scene.
Was it the one in his suit where it like turned to like C-1000 stuff?
Well, it's not even that. Let's look at the fact that the comedy one that Collider did. What was it last year with George Lucas and how they were mocking that one?
Mm-hmm.
That's a perfect example. They had to find a voice actor as well as kind of like the same stature with the head size, and then they just grafted the face, and technically it's like a face rig over top of him. Mm-hmm. And then they mapped his face to the George Lucas face over top, and they got away with murder. They're doing it with a lot of things now. I know there's deep fakes with Nicolas Cage, Hayden Christensen right now, with the Star Wars.
Well, there's a new music video from Paul McCartney that came out a few weeks ago where they do that. They deep fake Paul McCartney in the video. But to answer the Batman question, it's the scene with Two-Face where he interrupts the party and he leaves. Mm-hmm. The scene where Batman is standing on top of the building before he jumps down, that is completely CGI.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm guys quickly. What did you think of this episode? Because we haven't heard you talk much. I know you're cooking as well as Red Bulling it out. But like, any thoughts on this episode?
These news ones, it depends on my mood whether or not I like them. Because I don't like news agencies to begin with. Oh. I learned long ago that if you're going to get an honest news report, they have to have the report done in one single take without any cuts, because it's going to be altered or varied or changed. And nowadays, if someone is going to record you should have some type of digital clock clearly visible on your person, as well as recording it yourself. Because as you saw in this episode, it can be manipulated so easy by jump cuts. And here they throw in the little commercials to change the subject and rehash things. Little irritating. It's a good episode, don't get me wrong. It just, the fact that I'm seeing news by a shady group, it gets on my nerves, which is a good thing when it comes to TV or any type of entertainment. You want an emotional response that's genuine, not something that pisses you off at the people who made it, but it pisses you off at the people that are acting in it.
Well, look about this. Like, you're right, because this is like a 20-year difference from when this episode aired till now, and it's still causing the same emotional value, and that's what's brilliant about it. I agree with you. I don't like it. And even when they did that commercial insertion, sorry about that, Jesus. It's the same. No, it's the same feel. Go ahead. Hey, Zach, you are in the Babylon 5 Twitter group, and the StreamYards is there if you do want to join. Nice to see another member in the channel, and I appreciate your membership, just like everyone else who's here. Back to you, Jeebus.
Yeah. Oh, they've been using propaganda pieces forever in the media just to get people to feel one way or another. And then if you catch the media lying about it, they go like, "Oh, our bad."
Well, also, as I was alluding to, there's going to be an episode of Babylon 5 doing it from a different point of view, where it isn't just about news reports, but it's the cumulative effect of media, especially in certain cases, irresponsible media, that it has on looking back on how things play in a historical context.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the episode that I really liked. That was a really well done, because you didn't think about that. I mean, watching this show for the first time, you never really thought about the historical context of what happens when you go through something. And that episode highlights that. So,
yeah. But I got one question. There's one I threw this guy up on the board, because out of that, the creepiest thing in this show for me was the side cop commercial. Where that guy just like next generationed in, and he was like, "Hello, Jimmy. I'm just gonna put my hand on your shoulder and tell you how to wear a suit and comb your hair like the growing pains style. Ha ha ha! We'll take care of you and pay all.
I'm your
It's very
new
camp.
daddy."
It's very camp.
I don't know who I am.
Go ahead, Kate. Go ahead.
It's very campy, and obviously, the actress who plays the reporter hams it up on purpose. But like this takes it to a whole nother level of groaning. It's like, why? And I'm not saying campy is bad, but when it's like this and it's not for me. I understand the premise, but it's just like it's too much.
It makes you feel like Starship Troopers and Babylon 5 could exist in the same universe.
Come on, boy. We're going to take you from your family and change your whole life in a secret society.
Hold on. I think I know what I think Darius is talking about. And I'm trying to find the full one because people keep cutting it off. You're talking about the side corpse is your friend. Trust the corpse. That freaking line is probably what you were like talking about, and that was creepy as hell.
Trust the core kind of attitude is. We get it. You're selling your group.
Like, look at him. He's like,
Yeah.
Look at him looking down at him like, you don't know what's coming. You're gonna be warped and trained, and because we've already been introduced to the Psi Corps, not only how manipulative they are as a corporation, I call them corporation, but as a syndicate maybe, but how manipulative they are to their own members, trying to push how they must follow every rule and regulation. You either Psi Corps or you're taking the pills the rest of your life, like Ivanova's mother.
Well, and that's the thing. We're seeing how everyone on Earth sees this. Mm-hmm. This particular episode is showing you what people on Mars and people back on Earth and what they are being told about Babylon 5. Okay? When we watch the show, we're getting, quote unquote, the actual events. Whereas the media is something that a lot of people don't think about in terms of especially other shows like this. You don't really think about how the media would cover certain events, whether you're talking, Babylon 5 or even Star Trek. That's the reason why when you look back on, there was an episode of I think it was Voyager, where they talked about a future version of the Enterprise that was actually a time ship.
Yep. And
how they had cataloged all of the times that James T. Kirk actually messed with time.
He was such a menace. No, wait, wasn't that wait. Wasn't that Trials and Tribulations, and that was DS9 because they actually were coming into interview?
No. I know what you're talking about. That's a separate episode. No. Okay. This is where you're introduced to the, I think it was, which Enterprise designation was that? It was like Enterprise
E or F.
Want to be Time War?
I think it's either I or H. It's one of those. Yeah. And it's a futuristic Enterprise where that's what they do.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that one because I must have missed it. But yeah, because usually every time when some time travel happens, Kirk is always brought up like that guy was a menace. He just kept ruining the timeline, and he didn't f up anything. But I want to complain about him anyways because I can and I will, and I refuse to give him any credit that he kept the timeline straight. And I love that.
Well, he dies in the timeline event, doesn't he? In Generation.
Well, he did it several times, but I mean, this is the times that he did it. Being someone that had actually watched Star Trek, you understand the context that he did it. But the further away you are from an actual incident, and I think this is what Babylon 5 is trying to illustrate. If you look at this as sort of like something that actually happens in our everyday life, whether it's a military station, which is technically what the equivalent would be, when people do anything, you rarely think about the historical context that something will be. There we go.
Such a show off. Look at this guy. He's wearing a Psycorp pin and he just checks off. He's like, I've had enough FaceTime.
You really think about the historical context that something could be placed in. That even something like, for instance, even something like what happened with Kirk and crew in The Wrath of Khan, that if the Federation did not want to look favorably on Kirk, they could easily say that this was something that didn't need to happen. They could blame it on him. Definitely the events of the search for Spock, where he actually did violate rules and stole a starship.
Now, before you get into that quickly, I want to welcome Mountains of Elysium. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Psycorp did nothing wrong. You're already been brainwashed, but I accept you here anyways. Welcome to the channel. There was one more I saw in here. Pod Racing Palpatine, nice to see you as well. And then we have the Geiger. I don't think I've seen you before. I love your avatar. Welcome to the channel as well. And of course, Archer Jacob Barton. English and me still aren't working after weeks of training. Nice to see you here as well. But yeah,
Mountains. Just for a second, Mountains of Elysium's a friend of mine. He is very well versed in the Babylon universe, and sometimes when you write stuff like that, you can't really take him seriously. But he's a great guy, great accent.
No, I respect his joke, and I wish all you guys will stay tuned because I do have a great announcement, and this announcement affects next week, and you guys are going to be having a great time, and I hope we can too. Other than that, this was pretty much like I called this episode Propaganda 5. That's pretty much what it is. It's literally news propaganda, and then you guys, it's like I just sprinkled a little bit of telepathy here, and you're good to go.
It's with a dash of institution because the Psycorp.
Wait! I am honored and blessed, ladies and gentlemen. The legendary Tron is subscribed to the channel. Thank you, legendary Tron, man. I watch you on Echo Base. I've watched some of your game streams, Outriders, everything you've been playing, dude. I'm glad you're keeping up on YouTube and Twitch, man. And I know Echo Base Network is having a meetup sometime in the future, and a lot of people are excited to meet you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and a big hello to Arwen. I did see her hello earlier. So.
Hey, Arwen.
The other thing we're missing is Tickle Trunk throwing love poems at you right now.
Is Tickle Trunk sleeping?
I think no, he's never sleeping. No, but we just make a joke. Colin P. Smith says, Keith, are you suggesting that the truth is a three-edged sword? Well, technically it is. It's their side, my side, and the actual truth. I think that's the way it's said, right?
Yeah.
And then this side.
I don't want to use pronouns because someone might jump my bones. Why
would someone jump on you? That's so dangerous.
Wait, hold on. Oh, no. You don't get to do that. No.
How pretty.
Oh, yeah.
It's your three-edged sword right there.
Is that the Shadow Blade?
No, but I wish.
You know what I'm talking about, right? The one that had the skull on it that bit? Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think I know.
But yeah, this episode was fun, but it was creepy. It was good, and
it's successful. That's what it is.
You nailed it, Kate. It's successful because it nails things, and it makes you think, it makes you feel, and you have no appetite. Colin P. Smith says propaganda and media manipulation 101. Pretty much.
Well, that's a good thing about it too. They make it so obvious that it makes you question what you watch, which is a
Sure,
really good thing.
Yeah, they do make it fun enough to be like, oh, well, I guess this could really happen, and lo and behold.
And with what's about to happen, this is also your constant reminder that how we view what is going on Babylon 5 most definitely is not how it's being sold. And that's going to have an effect on season 4, most definitely season 5. Because of the amount of damage this kind of stuff is doing.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't it also have effect on season 3? We're eventually reaching a certain point with B5 and how things happen. So pretty much the stepping point is season 3 is perfect because there's 5 seasons, but it's 3 is the middle. But they initialize the middle in such a way that it feels like it was meant to be there, and it just flows. Jester of Sin, another member of the channel. Nice to see you, sir. I hope you're having a great day. And Mountain says, I dig out loving the latest novel you are releasing on YouTube. Well, eventually he'll actually share it with us live one day when he's not playing with his wonderful toys.
Thank you, Mountain. I didn't know you were paying attention to the new one. Thank you.
Yeah. He writes books.
I write books.
With crayons and love.
Big letters.
Oh my god! And I like to stay in the lines. But the one thing that was brilliant about this episode, even the titles, now for a word, because that used to be the common trait in a lot of news, even if it was like sitcom news or real news. That was usually a now word from our sponsor, but now it was supposed to be like a now word from our news. It was supposed to be kind of like
it's from the early days of really, it's actually from radio.
Yep.
Because that's really where a lot of the terminology for television comes from, is from radio.
And I gotta say this again, dude. Oh my god, Black Dragon, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I hope I can keep you entertained, unlike my waistline. But thank you. I don't actually have any more cupcakes. Adega ate them all.
I did. Tasty.
You just guess which orifice he used, though, and it just really
banana coconut. Needed the fiber.
Fuck you, coconut.
You don't like coconut?
I do like coconut, but in macaroons, not in a cupcake.
But it's like coconut on the frosting, maybe?
I just want sprinkles.
I've
What are
had
the best
some.
Okay, but what about coconut cheesecake? I'm pretty sure I could bribe you with that.
I'm always nuts for cheesecake. Paul Peaceman says one of the best examples of perception was a comment made about Blake 7 that from Federation's POV the heroes were terrorists. I used the wrong word. Oh shit. Angry people against the narrative. How about that? I'm gonna use that word instead. I'm gonna bleep that up later. I'm terrified. But yeah, you're right. It's pretty much. I wanted to ask this one question. Do you think they were sent here not to get like news on the front lines, like you do have like Starship Troopers, as Jeebus says, where you have like the camera on of what's going on? It's a deadly planet. It's a crazy planet. Do you think Earth Gov in general sent them on behalf of Santiago? Was it Santiago? That was who's the one that was killed?
Santiago.
Yeah, they were sent there by the president to not only see what was going on, but to make it look like it needs to be controlled by Earth Gov more. They
actually, but you're talking Clark.
Yeah,
this is Clark. This is
it would be
Clark. That's the episode.
So that would okay. I have a question. Is the news network a deliberate function of the government, or is it its own business that then could have been slipped papers under the table to do this on behalf of government, but lower than the president? Because that would make sense for the overall story. Or if it is, in fact, a government entity, an institution, then it would be, it could go all the way up, but it doesn't necessarily have to, which means the middle is very corrupt already. And this is kind of a shady way. This is a funny way to show how shady it is.
I have to quickly jump in. This is a side note. Kyle, when I write please retweet, don't retweet me saying please retweet. That's so what the fuck? I love your sense of humor, man, but I just saw that and I was like, wait a minute. Something's wrong here with my I love you. I love smart ass humor when you get it right, dude. Honestly. Oh wait, hold on. Before we get it, I really gotta do this for you. I really gotta give you one. Gerry.
Has made some bad choices.
You get that one just because you were so. Look at the dick. I love it when people are like that. That was brilliant, dude. Please, no, we're not. No, I am not going to be that guy's like. Please clap. Please. Oh my God, it's all over for me. It's good night, everybody. I'm out. I'm gonna find another fat Steven, some guy off the street. His name is that.
No.
Oh, that dude, I love you so much. I peed a little.
Before Clark took over, when it was in Santiago, they were a independent one that just got notes up to them by the government because like they were on and then they were scared about when they were going to get shut down.
Oh, okay. So it could have been other more mischievous bad things that made this, oh, we're going to do this and it's going to be a good time. And then they get there and no, actually, because this guy over here who paid someone decided to do something else. So it probably is lower down the totem pole. And that makes it really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time through for you, Kate?
Yeah. I'm not.
Good. I kept my mouth shut then. No,
I'm like almost done with the first season. So yay.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything ahead of it. I'm just saying like.
He's talking about like going on right now in this episode.
Well, just with your suspicious mind about all things in that realm.
I know.
Trust your instincts.
I have no idea.
Trust your instincts on this.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. We got 18 people in the chat, and I just want to say thank you guys and ladies, and if you identify as a tree, awesome. Thank you all for being here, especially shout out to the members as well. Like, awesome. Stephen Thompson, how are you doing tonight? Hello, sweet and sassy girl. Well, thank you. I didn't know I was sweet and sassy. You're so nice. I just love you so much.
You're weirdo.
Thank you. I paid a little. I go back onto the show. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Now it's Awkward Silence, brought to you by Steven saying stupid shit.
Why? What? Oh, well, that's interesting, Black Dragon.
I got a good one here for you. I have a new video now when there's dead silence. I just came up with it. It happened today during the game. No. Give me money. Give me money. I think it's
I think we have a winner.
Remember I said I was clipping that? I told you I was making that highlight? Yeah, it was perfect.
I watched you do that from a distance, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just kidding.
That guy really needs $500. Oh my God! Oh, and now for a word from this, and now a word from our. I guess we got sponsors. Today's sponsor is brought to you by Master Grift. Don't steal content without it. Thank you. and Londo, he's always making bad choices.
He's just making Londo choices. It's not necessarily bad. They're just Londo choices.
the Lon choices.
Well, for science fiction, it's always tough to tell what the future is going to be like, especially with media and things like this. Mm-hmm. And I thought they did a good job. But the one, and you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but the one I thought did it pretty dang well for where they were. Starship Troopers, when they're showing newsreels and it says, "Would you like to know more?" Meaning you could jump and click and get more detailed on whatever media you're watching. I thought that's like what's going on now. I thought it was very brilliant.
Offnix quickly jumps in. Lovely to see you, brother. I know you have a weird schedule where you live. Says midnight here. Just here to blame Keith for encouraging me to pass episode 1 of season 2. Once I finished that, somehow I caught to the end of season 5 in a couple of days. So I blame Keith for the joy I had with Battle. Hey, what about me here? What fun? I started the show here. You know what?
I feel you off next. Steven created a monster. He has no idea.
I refer. No. Give me money. But since we have 19 people here and a couple of you missed the, I want to ask the chat. I did a new intro. I want to know if you guys saw it, if you liked it. Would you guys like to see it again in the chat before we get on maybe to the next episode if we have nothing else to cover? We're still 35 minutes in and we're having a blast. This is great. 1 in the chat if you want to see the new intro if you've missed it. 2 if you don't. Give me cupcakes. I blame you too. Get your own cupcakes. What is this? Zach says that's the best. You tell it, retweet it. Retweet.
Give me money.
All right. One of the chat. You guys want to see the new intro? All right. I'm gonna play the new intro. I worked on it like literally an hour before the show. It still needs some audio quirks because Odega was crying. So here we go. That is what I was working on today, guys, and I hope you guys liked it. I know I'm going to put some of the audio quotes in it later because Odega was yelling about it.
Would
for 20
you
minutes.
do
Screaming
it
and
over
hollering.
Would you do it over the music or in between the music?
It would actually be an overlay within the music. I would just have to decrease the volume of the audio custom I put in, and then put those ones a little bit louder.
Right, but I'm just thinking that, like, at what point would it make it sound lyrical? Because you probably could do that.
Probably on the bass line.
Maybe.
I'll figure it out. I usually sit there for an hour with music trying to figure it out. Like, it's not easy picking music for an intro. It's not. But other than that, pardon me.
Okay.
Thank you. So
Who ate the cupcakes now?
Oh, go fuck.
Evidence is in the sound.
So what do you think, Keith? Because I can't tell if you're speechless or you fell out of your shower.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's great. I mean, look, you do excellent work. I've told you that before. So another great one. Another great one, Steven.
Thank you. So where else do we want to go on this episode? Because there's a lot to talk about. We've already covered a lot, and it's just one of those ones where you can talk about it, but it doesn't really have a situation feel.
Well,
like it's just there.
It does have like little bits with characters' monologues, essentially, or not really monologues, but they're just like explaining to this reporter something about themselves or their experience living on a space station versus whatever they've done before. Some of those get a little interesting, and then the closing statements are interesting as well. So I don't know if that's more fodder.
Oh, that makes a good point. Yeah, I can agree with that. Actually, I could. Other than that, I don't know why I highlighted that one. I'm sorry, I was trying to have like off next. There you go. Reaches for the god. Just remembers he has wooden arrows. I'm not a vampire.
No.
I'm just really pasty. It's Canadian. But yeah. What about Odega, Keith? Anyone else? Because we're skipping one major topic. I know we're taking this from the point of the view of the what do you call it?
Besides the
media, but we're forgetting
Centauri doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the Centauri doing bad things. It's the fact there's a war going on between two races. And you can tell Londo, you know they're hiding stuff. We have battles going outside the station. Like we're not like the pack to the point where debris could actually damage the station. The defenses aren't online, and I don't think they ever brought them online.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about this episode with the battles. Or battle, I should say, the major battle, and what's going on. I mean, that's just that's definitely one of those things that EarthGov could use to rally sentiment a certain direction. Everything that you saw in this episode was really from the point of view of, I think, what the government wanted everyone to see. So that story, it looks like it was already crafted by the time it went to air, quote unquote.
Before you continue, Keith, quickly, Jace Fox, thank you for being a member. I see you in the chat with your elbow cops. Thank you for covering your mouth. Memes, like usual. What the fuck? On the panel. There he is. Okay. Ladies and
Memes
gentlemen,
of the
cover your
people.
ear. Memes of the lateness. That's what we're calling it. Lateness of destruction. And welcome, memes.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Oh! Yes. Late yet again. We must be consistent about these things.
No,
okay,
you
guys?
don't.
What's going on?
No, every
Oh.
super chat today goes towards memes getting a Timex.
Oh. I think I have a watch somewhere.
Super glue it to his forehead. I'm going to super glue
Oh,
it to
and a slightly ironic thing, I came up with a theory of basically the universe in of itself. It might be our corpuscular lattice oscillatory cyclic kinesis. So the universe might actually be a clock.
Now, can you
Still
type that
bad
on
at
the
time.
chat for everyone?
Oh. Okay.
Can you spell it?
No, don't do it, man. No. You're going
What?
back in your corner.
Oh,
No.
Hey, tachyons are coming up, so it's relevant.
Now, Memes is part of the panel, but he's always been late, sometimes even an hour late. But Memes, did you watch the right episode this week? And,
I watched the correct episodes. I even went back and double checked.
Woo!
all right, cool. And ladies and gentlemen,
on HBO.
Memes. Oh, what were your thoughts on this on episode 15 with the now a word?
Oh, the sheer fact that literally this episode starts off, it's like, all right, we're going to do basically a little bit of a tell-all. We're going to do a little narration. Many different shows have these things. And of course, it starts off, it's like, we are approaching Babylon 5. What's this? Oh, look, starship fire. Things are exploding. This should be interesting. It's not like that would ever be scripted by any type of government agency ever. I like this episode. I totally give it like a 9.1. 9.2.
Mountains of Elysium says the Centauri. Oh my God, the Centauri did nothing wrong. Talia, it's just too much of a lovable scamp. Or should that be horrific monster? I do get those confused. I'm already beginning to love him or her. That is cool.
Leave the proper pronouns they.
Thank you, Webster's. What else did you think about this show?
What? I don't have paper. Okay, I have a little paper. It's mostly for your
You
butt.
do. Hold on. Afnik says, what type of steampunk analog phone does the Memes of Destruction use? That doesn't have
I
basic
don't know.
functions such as an alarm clock. He literally tells time by smoke signals.
There is smoke. There is smoke.
And fire when he runs.
No. Occasionally there
It's
is
just a
fire.
special
That's
smoke.
usually not intended. Well, it's funny smoke sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And come to the Commonwealth if you're of age.
All right. Now, go give us your thoughts about this episode because you're late and it's very sunny inside.
It's okay. As far as the rest of the stuff goes, it's like, all right, they're tracking everyone around, and it's like it basically goes exactly how you would usually think, as Kate would say. It's like, all right, you got Commander Ivanova. It's like I don't have any time of this BS at all. It's like I'm busy putting out fire after fire, including some of the ones that you may create. They're trying to get like an interview with Ambassador Kosh, and Ambassador Kosh, this is Ambassador Kosh thing. It's like he does this thing. He's kind of like a celebrity in many ways. He is, but you have that Garibaldi is basically Garibaldi. He's just going to talk and kind of confuse you, and then like any good reporter, she totally confronted Delenn and it made her cry.
That's
made me
a good
sad.
one. Mountains of Elysium says, my pronoun is batshit crazy. That explains a lot.
It's true. We're Irish. That's what we do.
BSC. Well, we
I saw
like
that, Steven. Sorry about that, Memes. Still a bunch of bull pucky. I want to dab, damn it. Well, there's probably a dispensary somewhere nearby.
Oh,
you
good
want to
man.
dab? Do you want to dab for them? Do you want to dab for them? Go right now, Memes. Go ahead. You can dab for all you want.
My elbows are sore.
Oh, come on, man. You were about to do it. Do it. There you go. There's your dab. Yeah, but anything else you want to add before we move on to either Glenn would have smacked that broad? Oh, yeah.
No. She's a very peaceful person-ish, Bombari, and apparently
Lennier
like
would?
nobody wants her.
yeah.
I feel in some ways she's almost kind of like the brave little toaster. Not that she's a toaster, but it's from the 90s or 80s or something like that. But all I remember is it was a very sad movie at certain points, and for some reason that popped up in my head when I was thinking about her crying. It's like, well, what about all of these people? All of this, all of that. It's like, you don't think like you've offended them all? It's like, can we stop? I don't understand these things. These are not customs I'm supposed to be like. I already got kicked off my own council, and now you're telling me all these people I'm trying to help probably hate me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad day.
Now, I want to ask Beams, what did you think of the Psycop commercial?
Dude, for a minute there, I'm like, is this the same episode, or is this exactly what I think it is? And it was exactly what I thought it was. It was complete straight-up propaganda, and it makes so much sense from a lot of our tangential conversations that we've had about hinting at and or throwing a few little spoilers out. It's like, Mommy, oh, I knew what these folks were doing, and I said it, and then they beat the crap out of me. Oh, that's all right. It's okay, Timmy. You're just a latent psychic. Come join the Psych Corps. Oh, by the way, we'll pay all their bills forever. Really?
Including their funeral bills.
Just got to get
After
through
we're
the
done.
entrance exam.
All right, we got 17 people here, and I think we're getting a good segue here. Now, I want to announce this. I've been in talks with someone for a while, and next week on Monday the 23rd, we're going to have someone special coming.
Is it me?
You're always special, short bus and seatbelt and everything. But for those that don't know, I've been talking to Patricia Talman, and she's agreed to come on for 45 minutes next week at 5:15, and we're going to have a question period for not only the chat and the panel. It's going to be very respectful, so I'm going to be muting everyone. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having Lita join us next week on the 23rd. I've been trying to set this up, and she's agreed. She's been on the road a lot. And I am so happy that I was able to nail a guest to actually come on and talk about Babylon 5. So I hope you guys mark that calendar. I'll have the StreamYard link on YouTube link up later. I've been working on the thumbnail for a while just in case she said yes, but she will be coming on. So we're going to have to be on our best behaviors, so I'll have to mute myself as well. I have other guests I'm trying to work on as well. And if I get confirmation or any time in the future, next week on the 23rd, Patricia Talman will be joining us, and she's done a lot more than just Babylon 5. She's been extras on DS9, TNG. She was Barbara in the remake of The Walking Dead. She has done quite a lot. So I hope you guys mark your calendars. I'm excited. It's not easy getting guests, and I'm so happy she put across some time. So it's going to be a fun time. 45 minutes of fantasticness, and I want to make sure that the chat gets enough to get some questions answered related to Babylon 5 and other stuff like we did with Chuck Dixon back a couple weeks ago. I want the same format. But she's Lita. I know she's Lita, yes, and she's also redhead, yes. So
okay. The character is.
Yeah, her character, yes. Besides that, that was the big news.
Actually, what's interesting about her character then is that she's extremely rare, not just because she gets alongs with Varlons, but because having red hair and brown eyes is.
Did I say Walking Dead instead of Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, you said Walking Dead.
Yeah, I gotta stop talking in general because mouth and words are not working right. English, good.
I know walking is usually associated with living, although living is not always associated with walking. Yeah.
All right, I said Walking Dead. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. Oh
How
my
dare
God.
you?
How dare I?
They're all very similar.
No, but this is awesome, Stephen. Who are we talking to again?
Her real name's Patricia Talman. She's an actress who's done a lot of sci-fi and some horror.
So she started.
Apparently, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I know she did fancy things, but have we seen her in Babylon 5 yet?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, depending on what order you watched everything.
The pilot.
She was in the pilot. And for those of you that have been following along, you might see her again.
Before I get to Mountains of Elysium again, Zach says memes will be there on the 24th or the 25th, depending on his Transformers watch. I agree. Mountains of Elysium says, "Don't worry, Timmy. We can make all those bullies disappear. And when you are fully trained, you can convince the rest they are roosters and scratch in the dirt for grubs." Wow, that is so true.
And you get to spend an hour with Bester.
I just want an autograph.
I'm just imagining like the end of like the Wolverine movie. It's like, you're going to walk now. For how long? You're going to walk now.
Before we go on to the next episode, is there anything else you guys want to add with this episode? Let's go with the rating first of all. Rating 1 to 10. 1, it sucks. 10 to 10. And I will start off and give it. It was a 9 for me. I honestly had a lot of joy, but the whole news thing, I'm not going to give it a 1 for the news thing as much as it has a reality in this day and age. What did you think, Kate?
7. It's okay. There's some fun bits.
Am I a fun bit?
Are you a bit? Are you a bit small?
Yes, I fit in the pocket like Polly Pocket at 90 Mags.
Oh, he melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Not that gross. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
What about you?
Than that.
All right. Before he hits on me with other candy slogans, what did you think, Keith?
You know, it was a very good episode. I gave it an 8. In fact, actress Mira Furlan, who plays Delenn, cites this as one of her favorite episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because where she came from, Yugoslavia, the constant harassment by the press was something that she could identify with in her own life. And so this episode became one of her all-time faves.
I agree. And next down the world, we have Adega. What did you give this episode?
For the same reason I mentioned earlier, I give it a 9. Hated a lot of it, but it was because of the story, not because of how it was made. I think it did exactly what it was supposed to do, to get you pissed off at the right people, sympathetic for the right people, and give a little bit of the background story with the war going on. So it had to be a 9 for me.
That's a fair thing, because you're showing your emotional detachment as well as attachment to it, so it still hits you, and it's like a 20-year plus difference. That's a great one. Arwen says 9 out of 10. Geiger says 7 out of 10. Okay, 5. We got an 8 out of 10 from Zax right there. We have memes finally greeting people. We have the elbow cough, which is known as the dab, and Nightwatch did it. SJW so scary, good. It's frightening. Yeah, it is. Because we see that later on how it starts warping and becomes a lot of a control factor. What about you, memes? Because you've been dying to say something.
This is a 9.2, and I actually apologize. Apparently, I watched the wrong episode again. I double checked, but I apparently did it wrong.
His TV and watch are a combination.
No, I watched the Londo and we'll say Three Musketeer thingy.
Hess has made some bad choices.
I mean, it's accurate. It's accurate, and I'm a fanboy for that episode.
No. Give me money.
Because you call.
Continue.
Memes. We know we're gonna meme you into like the wrong episode.
I'm consistent. Right? I'm consistent.
That's not consistent. That's short-term memory failure. Come on. Don't placate it.
Marijuana is not for children.
Yeah, why are you smoking it then?
I've been smoking since I was like 12.
Oh, come on. Go back on camera. We love you. Monkey, what is your rating of this episode before he forgets where he is?
I'm sorry. I'm not that high. I'm always high, but I'm not that high. And I never.
Take it easy, Steven. I'd love seeing you here. What'd you give the episode, Monkey?
An 8.
What?
Oh, that's a good one. Do you have any reasons why, or just because you like the episode as an 8?
I really liked the episode just because it gave you a different view of things. I mean, like, you can't really trust everything they say, but it gives you more. You know, it just gives you how everybody sees everything.
Mm-hmm. I'll keep doing that. All right, and that means you had something to say before I hurt your feelings. I don't want to ever do that. I love you, big boy.
Wait, what'd I do?
I don't know. You muted your mic, then muted it, so I thought you had something to say.
Oh! You mentioned stuff and things, and I did stuff and things.
Okay. And
Steven Seagal does not promote entheogen use on this channel.
Well, not all the time.
And
Before we get into it, I'm going to get the next image ready, and we are hitting a good one, which is episode 16, The Shadows of Zahadum. And this Zahadum is a name of a planet. It's also a word that has been passed through the season lightly as in a layer, and it has a lot of effect that's coming in the near future. And I want to quickly say I love this episode. I do, because it's like finally we're getting more than just a sprinkle or breadcrumb. We're getting the underlying story that a lot of people have been waiting for.
Oh, I figured out what happened. See,
Good
when
morning.
I watched ahead last week, I watched
Shush,
ahead
no
to the
spoilers.
full episode, and then when I went ahead, it automatically skipped because I'd already watched the episode.
Arwen Abbas says at least memes remembers this is a B5 panel.
True.
Like, what is it? The Star Trek War thing?
This isn't about wrestling.
Harness the power, starry warzies.
Yeah.
5.
I think we've lost him.
Wars, what?
He's dead, Jim. He's dead. Dead. But honestly, this episode is great, and it is called In the Shadow of Zahadum. And this starts off with Sheridan discovers that Morden has a connection to his late wife, Anna. Nightwatch, a new agency on Earth, is now popping up at Babylon 5. They're trying to recruit, just wear the badge, and is trying to recruit a lot of the personnel in Babylon 5. They're paying like a lot of money to just stand there with the badge on.
Mm-hmm.
E. Clay Thompson says Zahadum Gesundheit. I wasn't going to say that.
No. Wasn't that the thing from like Lord of the Rings where the dwarves dug too deep?
That's Mordor.
No, not in Mordor, the place where they.
Are you talking about the mines of Minas Tirith? I think.
No. It's at the mines of Moria, my friend. I have been a dwarf for many years, if you could not tell.
I'm sorry.
My Scottish accent becomes Russian for some reason. You are what.
That's really weird.
In Russia, dwarfs kick my ass.
I mean, they're at the right level.
Oh my God. All right, with that, Keith, I'm going to let you take over this episode because I've talked a lot already. Where do you want to start with this episode? Because I know you the most. The same with the Dag and probably a couple others have been wanting to talk about this type of stuff coming for a long time.
Yes, because there's a lot of background to this.
Keith? All right, I think Keith is currently falling asleep. Adega, you could take the floor at the moment.
Wait, I forgot I kept it muted. I was
You were talking with it muted?
Let's let Adega.
Listen to me. Go.
Okay, hold on.
Let's let Adega do it because I really like how he puts a lot of this together.
Hold on. There is a 10-pound super sticker from Gesture of Sin with a hippo riding the chair. And dude, honestly, if you're a member of this channel, because of Arwen becoming that member, pushing the limit, we do have that chair emoji. And I know what he's resting. So I am going to spam it in the chat now because I got a new chair and everyone says, I love my chair and wanted an emoji. Thank you, Gesture of Sin. Thank you so much for that. You didn't have to, but I know you wanted to. And for you, sir, I will give you a little Dragon Zord in your pants. Keith, back to you.
Hi, Keith.
Anyway, no, I was saying let's let Adega do it because I like the way he does this. I like the way that he describes things, and I want to give him a chance. And this is a very good episode, and it would seem that I think you believe the same as I do how important this episode is.
He's grading you on it.
Well, is Keith going tickle trunk for Adega?
No pressure. Yeah.
I would be honored.
My dearest Martha, it's
keep
been
the
but a
trunk to
fortnight
yourself.
since I threw my Neil Diamond used panties at someone on the panel.
Steven,
I shall do
you're
for it.
Tickling is okay, but the trunk has to go. All right.
Don't
Well,
lie.
let's see. Background with, well, first off, we already know Mr. Morden. You already know that smile means something horrible, something unusual, and usually death follows. A few weeks ago, we talked about him, and I had mentioned about his history. Well, we're going to get into it, and Sheridan finally discovers what's going on, what happened to his wife, And the big story is starting to be unraveled quite quickly of what's going on in the universe. Or actually the galaxy. You can't say the universe. Pizza's here. This ship here, several years before on Mars, this is stuff that doesn't necessarily, it doesn't end in the story at all. You don't know any of this part. But they have some archaeological digs going on at Mars, and they dig up a ship. And
you're spoiling it.
No, I'm not spoiling anything. This is not the ship you're thinking of. This is a different one. They dig up a ship. They notice that there's something odd about it, and it's starting to move. They put a tracking device on it, and boom, it's gone, leaves Mars. They have no idea where it went, didn't do anything that they could do other than just track it. It was just a mystery. The technology was beyond them. Why it was there on Mars, they had no idea. So they tracked it. They found out where it went, that infamous place called Zahadum. And Earth decided, along with the, what is that? Can't remember the name of the archaeologist group.
That's
yeah, I know, it's right on the tip of your tongue. You want to, but either way, they send a team of them. What is it? Interplanetary something? I can't remember.
Interplanetary expeditions.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called interplanetary expeditions.
There we go. But it was a team of over 100. Sheridan's wife is on there, and Mr. Morden is on there. And I'm going to describe to you stuff that's in the book, not from the show. They find that this planet is in pretty bad shape. It had existed for millions of years. They find archaeological stuff that is very, very old, and all of it is dead. They find a tunnel on this planet that it's some kind of entrance, exit. They couldn't figure it out. They start doing all their archaeological stuff because they couldn't find the ship. It was gone. But they found the planet. And in the process, they start finding these little tiny devices. They don't know what they're for. They start taking them apart. And inside, they find the control mechanism of them. It's like little bugs, little spiders, different things that would turn the lights on, make the little cleaning devices run. And their main operating brain is some type of little bug. And the more they delve into it, the more things start to wake up on the planet. Until finally, the shadows wake up. At least the ones that are there.
So what you're telling me is that in people's Roombas, it's like an actual hamster.
Yes. Yes.
All I know is literally the start of, like, I think season 4 of The Expanse completely ripped off this episode.
Yes. Yes.
Like almost so freaking close. It's actually so ironic. It actually makes so much sense now.
Well, the name of the ship is called the Icarus.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not the ship you're looking for. This is not the one that comes up later on in the show. That's a different ship that they followed here. And so there's more to the story, which is going to be revealed in later episodes. This is all background. So we have the ship. It actually made it there, and the shadows found them. So in the episode that we're talking about now, Mr. Morden shows up, and one of the coolest things I think in the whole arc, it's not my favorite, but is one of my favorite things, is when Mr. Morden summons Veer for a little meeting at the Zocalo. And Veer is asked the question, what is it you want, after pissing Morden off? Because Veer is really good at that when he wants to be. He's not a bumbling idiot. He's actually very smart, but timid. And I think I have the line memorized, hearing it so much as I will live just long enough to when they cut off your head and stick it on a pike. For the next 10,000 generations, as a warning that some favors come at too high a price, I want to look up at your lifeless eyes and smile just like this. That's the one.
I love that line because it's I want to just live long enough when they cut off your head and put it on a pike as a warning to the next 10 generations that some favors come at too high of a price. I want to look up at your lifeless eyes and wave like this. can you and your associates arrange that, Mr. Morden? I don't know why I say Londo, like Londo.
I don't know, but when he says that, can you and your associates arrange that, Mr. Morden? It was perfect. It was like,
Because he
please?
says it so sweetly. The whole thing he says really sweetly. It's just, can you please make this happen? This is what I want to do. It's going to be beautiful.
Holy crap, Veer is a savage.
He is.
Yes, yes. This is the most scariest guy on Babylon 5, and Veer just stared him down.
But that's the thing, though. He wasn't like that, I don't think. I think Londo is the reason why he has such a self-confidence of that darkness. He takes from Londo the darkness of how much you can put towards energy that are actual enemies, and he applies it to that with his vocalization of words rather than his actions. So he uses Londo for two things: as a teaching mechanism to not go too far, but how far you can go when it's something you know you have the right to do it. And that's what's so brilliant about their relationship in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and again, I think overall this is also setting up the future.
Right.
But also,
right.
Veer's smart. Look, Veer's been there since the beginning. He knows how this started. He recognizes who Morden actually is, and that a lot of the problems that Londo is currently having and will have can be traced right back to this individual. So Veer's feelings about Mr. Morden, he really does hate this guy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't just fear him; he hates him.
But he kills him with kindness. Like, it's literally the best example you can, because he says this so politely and just matter of fact, and there's this slight snarky undertone that makes it like question: is he joking? I don't know. He's smiling, so it must be a joke. And that kind of nature is something that you have or you don't. And I would think that the best thing that Londo has done for him is show him what not to be.
Yeah, well, and also this goes to the saying about the most dangerous thing you could do is push a good man too far. You know, you never want to see that. So
the other thing is, sorry, go ahead. You're right.
Oh, go ahead.
No, sir. No, age before beauty.
You know, it's just, this is one of those moments where, as a fan, when you watch this for the first time, you really do feel it feels creepy, it feels wrong, and yet deep down, no matter how scared you recognize that Veer actually is, in that moment you realize that fear has been replaced with something else, and you really don't want to be there when that something else truly comes.
Yeah, he becomes cunning, and he's realizing that it's okay to stand up for yourself, which he does beautifully.
Dadman Walking, a member to the channel, thank you very much, as well as with a regular with our streams of Alzheimer's. Hello all, don't know anything here, but listening into the conversation. I'm glad you're here, Dadman. Hello to you and your family. You've been a welcome addition to everything on YouTube lately, and I'm glad you're here. I say that to all the members as well.
But curse you for not knowing Babylon 5.
All right. And then Jester Sin, another member I appreciate immensely, says, age before Crisco. Bite me.
Because he's made of Crisco.
Well-aged butter.
Oh, well.
I will roll around in butter with you. We can make destruction.
Oh, is it goat's butter? Very creamy in butter form. No, not ghost butter. We're not mashing up Casper. That would be cruel. And spooky. I
don't know
it
him.
tastes like marshmallow. No, Stay Puft. Different kind.
Oh, frozen marshmallows.
Going back.
No. Give me money.
Non sequiturs.
Continue.
Thank you. I think Morden, the actor they got from Morden in general, he's an actor played so well that he is
Perfect.
just, you love to hate him. You do, because he has that way when he's first introduced. You don't really think like the extent of his power or his connections. And when you're seeing him in this security thing, and Zax is like, oh no problem. Can you just stand over there? He's like, I'll just be heading back now. All you hear is all the little hand cannons just go. You're like, I know.
Oh my God, Babylon has a wiki. This is
No.
What?
Yeah.
There's a lot of information here. No, I click on it.
The wiki's a bad place to go for it. You want Lurker's Guide.
Yeah.
Non-spoiler version.
No, you're going to get everything at Lurker's Guide.
Yeah, it just beware. It's like I said at the very beginning. Just beware of whatever you look up about Babylon 5, because this show has been out for quite a while. And so you'll have people that'll post things thinking that, if you're finding it, you must already know what happens. So it's you should always assume that whatever you click on is going to have more information than what you think. So be careful.
So it's like the internet.
Yeah, because it's an old show, and they anticipate that only youngins and people that have been living in a cave haven't watched this before. Don't kill me, Kate.
What? You think I live in a cave, or that I'm young?
It was a joke.
Oh, I thought I called you young.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I am too young to have watched this when it was new. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then
How dare
perfect.
you?
Tekkaman quickly jumps in saying, "Isn't the actor actually a lawyer or something?" I do not know that one, actually. I've never actually followed, but like he plays the perfect asshole.
Right.
He's got a punchable face. He's like, he does. Oh my God,
he does. He does. You punch him in the face, and your fist just looks at you and says, "Thank you." That's pretty much what it is.
There are some people, when you see them smile, you could say, "Oh, that's a fake smile." You could see it where there's no brains behind it, and there are those smiles that this guy is a liar, and he's got that face.
It's like a peck, just a punchable face.
I think I've been told that.
Oh no!
I'm not going to say it.
No one's ever wanted to punch you in the face. That's not true.
No one here thinks you have a punchable face.
Why do you think I have the beard? It's to hide it.
Yeah. Arwen makes a great point. His smile never reaches his eyes. Yeah, his eyes always look like he's planning ahead 5 steps, like the chess move face. But his smile is pretty much, hey, let me pass.
Right.
You're gonna lose
That's
your
how I
balls.
smile. But,
See, I thought that was just Botox.
It's actually Vortox, half Furlan, half Botox. It's Vortox.
No, it was the 90s.
Jam
actually is
hired
true.
him because he reminded him of Rod Sterling.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I see that.
That's Rod Serling, but thank you.
I'm reading what he wrote, not what I say.
I know. But
I see that.
Rod Serling is the god of science fiction as far as television is concerned. He is the reason why we have good science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he grew up in Johnson City in New York.
Yeah, and he took a chance on a brand new outlet thing, and oh my God, it's such a punchable face. It's like, come on, say something sweet to me so I have an excuse to punch you, bud.
But that's the thing, though. That's what's brilliant about the character, though. He fits in the role because we're getting introduced to someone that we think is just another normal human being, and we don't know the extent until we start seeing the interrogation by Sheridan, trying to figure out what's going on. How is he still alive? How is he alive? But supposedly Anna, his wife, as we're hearing the interrogation, is supposedly dead or isn't dead. He's trying to figure out. He's trying to get answers, and the whole time, every ambassador is coming to him and being like, "You have to release him. You have to release him." We got Delenn. We have Lennier, Jakar. Everyone is doing this because there's something going on that we're finally getting a little bit more of an opening book with this, and it's great because will this fall into the subterfuge thing in a way? You got to let them go. We can't let them know that we know. It's like the whole don't show your cards before you play them kind of thing.
Yeah, it's poker face. It's you gotta. It's a real thing. Don't you know how to play poker?
I don't play poker.
Okay.
Wait. Are you saying that he? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say he was somebody that may or may not have taken. He's one of those people that has power, and then everyone's like, no. I'm like, I don't know. It seems kind of like politics. Everyone seems kind of scared. What could go wrong?
Yeah, it is kind of politicky, but it's more of he has no legitimate reason to have him in custody. Everyone's warning him, but John just wants to follow his gut feeling about the scenario, which isn't wrong.
So it's a synopsis.
Yeah.
Will Gentry says, "That's not Spock." Thank you.
You know, on a kind of a sad note, but it brings us to realization. We have a friend where we used to live before I moved in not too long ago. It was about 5 years ago, where the daughter ended up missing.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a long time. Finally, they found the guy. Not enough evidence, but they know it was him. And considering what everyone went through, knowing that this girl was missing, seeing the pain that they go through, and if they had captured the one that they knew was associated with it, how difficult would it be to let that person go? Or would you want to lock them in your basement with chains and throw darts at them for hours? You know,
Whoa.
it really, yeah. I can write some dark stuff. Darts is pretty tame. So it's, I don't blame Sheridan at all.
No, he wants answers. He wants that closure. That's the main point here. But this also caused a friction with his other command staff. And I didn't mean to cut you short either, Adega. It's
You're
cutting
good.
short to the point where Garibaldi wants to put down his badge. He says, if you're going to go through with this, I can't be here. And it makes perfect sense because Garibaldi's being put in a tough place between friend, job, responsibility, and that's the only way out to him. And he has no problem doing it because he does not want to be a part of this. And
He may also want plausible deniability. So had anything gone beyond what it had something gone a different way that it does, then Garibaldi could have then helped, but not been involved. So he could have been more productive with the help.
And the other reason is that Garibaldi has this job because, well, this job was really his last chance.
Mm-hmm.
And since being given this job, he has thrown himself in it 110%, especially since his friend left. You know, Sinclair was the person who trusted him enough and took a chance on him, and he owes Sinclair. And his way of paying him back is to do the best job he can. And this is crossing that a little bit with him. So.
And no, I was wrong. Morden's actor works in construction for the Emperor Cartagia from season 4 was the lawyer. Okay. I didn't know that. That's awesome to know.
It's close.
I mean, also Punchable Face. Once you get there, you will see more Punchable
Next
Faces.
week's show's title, Punchable Face. I would just like to say I've done it for everyone here because I know you were expecting it. There you go. I hope everyone, except for the rotationals, he's probably going to get hit eventually. But I did it. There's your drunk meme at Babylon 5, guys. I hope that makes everyone happy just a little bit.
I thought that was just a station.
I thought you were going to have him sleeping on Kosh's encounter suit.
Oh, there's a person on it. Oh, okay, I saw. I thought it was just extra rudders.
Arwen Avalon says when Garibaldi is the voice of calm reason, we know something is amok. That's true. When he's the one who has no other options, when he goes through any method, especially when you get to that episode with the post office, I won't go too far into it. It makes sense because that's coming up. But yeah, I agree.
Arwen's right. Sorry to cut you off, Keith, but it's like when Garibaldi's like, "All right, you're going too far. You're probably going too far."
Kind of. I disagree. I disagree.
How dare you disagree with me on the internet? Go on.
I know, right? I think he generally goes with a gut feeling too, but he's not as intuitive as his other characters.
At least he will have a teddy bear to keep him company in orbiting the station.
That was never confirmed.
And Colin P. Smith says it shows that Garibaldi is becoming comfortable with Sheridan after a shaky start. Pretty much, because when you put trust in someone that's given you the benefit of the doubt numerous times and he's gone, it's really hard putting that type of faith in another person because it's not just the loyalty of command structure, but it's the loyalty of secrets.
Yeah. Well, it also, this, you got to remember, all stems from that hunch that he had in season 1. You know, I still think he's haunted by thinking that he could have prevented what happened to Santiago. You know, in Garibaldi's mind, he failed.
Right.
And in failing, ended up in a coma, coming out of a coma, and his friend is gone. The president is dead.
There's a new command structure.
There's a new command structure, and there's this guy who has now been placed in charge of. He does not know. And yeah, this has all been an adjustment for him.
Well, yeah, it's like waking up and you're going to a new school for the first time, new class, new kids, no friends around. It's the same type of pretense.
Mm-hmm.
After waking up,
and your most trusted handpicked associate was the one who shot you in the back.
Yep. Oh, and that was what? That was January. So this episode takes place in September. So.
You had to interject quickly, Memes. What was that?
I was going to say that was a quick school year, a very rough one.
Hey, it's better than what Vegas had as the odds. I mean, initially they didn't think any of them were going to survive. So,
Arwen Avalon states, not only does Garibaldi not have to trust Sheridan, but it's a good moment to show us that Sheridan has to trust Garibaldi. If he can't trust his staff, he can't function and is the one in command properly. Yeah. It's showing that even Garibaldi is also showing his limits of how far he can go with his commanding officer, but how far the commanding officer should realize that they're going past an extent that he usually goes.
Well, he needs a staff to keep him in check. This is the thing. It's like he's not the dictator of Babylon 5. No, he's the captain. The captain needs to trust his staff, and that's why he has Garibaldi and Ivanova. It's like that. Those are the folks that's like, if he goes too far, those are the folks that need to let him know. He doesn't want just a lot of yes people around him. It's like, oh, yes, captain, because that's how you go off the rails, and that's totally never happened before in anything.
Yeah, but it also falls under the pretense of leave your shit at the door when you come to work, and you can see Sheridan within this is not only run by his emotions, it's the fact of all the grief from the loss of losing his wife and whether or not that's an actual factual story now. So it's putting him in this whirlwind of emotion, double guessing, second guessing himself, finding fact between fiction, and it could cost him his job. And that's what Earth wants.
Yeah. Well, also,
Minbari want too.
Yeah.
Plus, he gets a good slap in the cheek from Talia.
Oh, let's get into that a little bit. But yeah, he was conniving in this episode. I'll give him credit for that one. Well.
Go. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think it's about time that we at least get to the part of talking about the story where we get into Delenn's history that she explains. Sheridan, finally, in this episode, you finally find out at least the intro story to how a lot of this began and works and where they're operating from. And this really does kick off how the rest of the series takes off really from here. So Delenn explains to Sheridan about the first ones.
And something to think about Sheridan too is his life has been nothing but forced obligation, and he stood up to the challenge. Like, his ship got mostly destroyed. He was the one who saved the ship from the Black Star during the Earth-Minbari War, out of desperation mostly. And then he became an icon to Earth Force because he was the one who actually destroyed a Minbari ship. And then he had to delve himself deeper into work. He even says it in this episode, because he lost his wife in a supposed ship explosion, which forces him further into work. And then it's just, his life has been nothing but forced into, like I said, he raises to the occasion because he knows his duty and he doesn't run from it. But he is a man who has been placed in a position where he has the option to walk away, but the opportunity is just phenomenal of how much is going to be demanded of him and how much he's up for the challenge. Yeah. And here is just where the door really opens up to the big universe for him.
Yeah, well, this is what he asked for, and he's finally getting what he asked for. So, as well as the audience. So, Delenn explains to Sheridan about the first ones. Beings millions of years older than either of the races. That some have moved on, but not all. Few remain.
One
waiting.
stayed. Sorry about that.
And they wait until they're needed. And that she thinks, that there could be a time when the shadows could come again.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells Sheridan about the last Great War and how the shadows began to return 1,000 years ago, and they were defeated by the few remaining first ones and the Minbari.
And other races that combined, wasn't it?
That's right. And that one race of first ones left were the Vorlons.
Oh, they didn't say that in the episode. Yeah, they did. I'm just fucking.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I had a recommendation for a video that was supposed to come up. It's like the first one's Babylon 5. I'm like, what is this? Apparently, it was telling me I was supposed to watch the correct episode.
Now, quickly before we get back to that, Mountains of Elysium says before they even ever spoke formally, Sheridan gave up some of his life energy for Garibaldi with the alien healing execution device to help him. Garibaldi would not forget that. Yeah, he put down his life for him in a way. Life energy.
I told you, Mountain knows his stuff.
And then Delenn also explains that for centuries, the Vorlons have stood alone, watching and waiting. And she tells John how last year she had sent Kosh a message.
Mm-hmm.
And the message was, have the shadows return to Zahadu. And he sent back the answer via Lennier. If you remember the episode when it happened, because it was a strange kind of answer when she asks Lennier when she sees him, and Lennier just says, yes.
And that's when shit hits the fan, because you're starting, because that the way they was delivered was perfectly, because if you had a good memory with all the episodes, those parts of the episodes, like the layers that, like the breadcrumbs, all hit you at once. And you're like, oh, fuck, this has been going on for a while. And that's where we keep discussing about the brilliantness of the layers within Babylon 5, because just when you think you're actually at the top of the cake with the frosting, you get hit with another freaking layer, and you're just like, oh, brilliant.
Just another dozen cupcakes.
I will hurt you.
Well, so you like 7-layer cake, but mostly for the frosting?
I was thinking more of like tiramisu.
Oh, okay.
Well, then Kosh projects an image into John's mind of the Icarus, which went to Zahadu. And there they woke the shadows. And the crew was given the choice of either serving the shadows, as Morden did, or they were killed.
Now, I've mentioned before, for those of you that have heard it, I apologize, but Morden's motivation wasn't just for his life, but it was for the life of his wife and kid, who mysteriously disappeared in a vortex at a jump gate that blew up, and the shadows convinced him that they were still alive, and that if he served, they would help him retrieve them.
Yeah, it's what
they always had him on the hook.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is, the one question is I do have is if the shadows are invisible, in which case why do people never bump into them, or are they actually slightly out of phase? Well, they're also they're one of the races that can actually go within and without hyperspace without the use of a jump gate. So I think it's more interphase.
It would be like sound waves.
Yeah.
So they go from being solid to being like sound waves, because when they do try and find them on the computer monitor, they do for a second, and it's ultraviolet, infrared, blah blah. But then there's also sound, and that seems to be a big shtick for them. So it's probably what it is.
Are you saying it's more like the flash or the reverberations of his body when he phases himself? So it falls into that pretense.
Well, plus, this is and does what they want it to do.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your first part. What did you say again?
I was saying that they scream and the universe gets scared and does what it wants, what they want it to do.
Pretty much. And they have been around for, well, there were the first ones, and these were a group of them. I mean, you can't say the first one, but the first races that appeared, these were one of them.
So they're like the guardians of the universe in Green Lantern.
That's what they think.
Anyway, all of this information eventually leads Sheridan to see that it was probably best to eventually consider letting Morden go.
Yeah.
And in one of the most chilling scenes, you are able to see exactly why Morden this entire time is never bothered, never worried.
No, he's never alone.
That's right. There is always something with it.
Wait. Hold on a second. So what you're saying is Morden is essentially Aladdin, and he has a genie.
No,
No, I mean literally, there's something with him
at all times, 2 of them.
Oh.
They hear
So
a sound, a minor scream on. I think it's
The cameras.
They use the cameras in the cell and readjust the wavelengths, and it turns out there's a shadow in there with him.
There's 2 actually.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Zax was blowing it off because the sound that was being heard, they just thought it was like feedback or something wrong with the cameras themselves. And they have the ability to cloud themselves. Like that's why they're called pretty much the shadows. They're literally the shadow of anyone around them.
So quick physics thingy here. Apparently, within string theory or whatnot, the ultraviolet just is excluded for some weird reason. Basically, the spectrum in which we normally see like stuff and things around us. So that's very interesting. I almost feel like that's almost a shout out to like superstring perturbation theory or something. It's like for some reason that we don't know, we can't see within this particular spectrum within something there. So I feel like that's an Easter egg.
Colin P. Smith, they're both. They're guardians and watchers. They're both. They're watching to see who can see. They're watching him and his actions, watching out for him. They're guarding him. But the other part of the watching is they're watching to see if they've been noticed that they're back yet. And that's why Delenn and Lennier are going so crazy. You have to let him go. Kosh, you have to let him go. They don't want to show their hand, and that's why it's so brilliant.
Yeah, because they are on the station, and if they can get into the station like that. So this takes us back to season 1, where you have Sinclair on Babylon 4, and he has that vision of the station being attacked. Okay? There you go.
Another thing, too, when you look at this image, you guys had mentioned a few things. They are also very much puppet masters.
Yep. Yep.
You look at Morden, and I don't see a person who's free in any sense of the word. But he's happily doing what he's doing because he has ulterior motives.
That's right.
He answered the question, "What do you want?" And so he's trying to fulfill that.
Sorry.
Oh, well, I mean, that really is his purpose. He's the mouthpiece, basically.
Oh my God! I just got it. That's why Ambassador Kosh was so offended when Sheridan asked, "What do you want?" Never asked that question
because it was a sign of who was working for, who are you as who was against.
There are 2 phrases that dictate where you lie within this coming battle. For the shadows, they will ask you, "What do you want?" For everyone else who will be fighting the shadows, the question is, "Who are you?"
That comes to one of my favorite episodes, which is in this season. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
I that sounds like a Vorlon phase, because I'm pretty sure I've heard Ambassador Kosh say, like, "Who are you?"
When we get to the Inquisitor.
Well, also, as stated, I mean, eventually Morden goes free, and that's when Sheridan returns Garibaldi's link and his PPG. and informs him that he had cut Morden loose, and tells Michael that he was right, Michael was right, and he was wrong. And anyway, Sheridan goes to Kosh and tells him that he let Morden go, and in return he wants to learn how to fight and beat the shadows. Because
tell me how to beat them. Tell me how to fight them.
Because he tells Kosh that sooner or later, he will have to go to Zahadum. And Kosh replies that if he goes there, he will die. But Sheridan doesn't, he's not all about that, So Kosh agrees to teach him.
Which that little scene there between Sheridan and Kosh is going to come back again and again for several different reasons.
Yep.
One, like you were just saying, going to Zahadum, the whole thing there. But also when Kosh says he's going to teach him how to fight the shadows. However, we find out things aren't exactly what the Vorlon say. There's a big hint, and I'm not gonna give it away, but I just want you to remember that.
No, because that's a great thing that pops up because it's more than.
Let's move on from this picture because this gives away too much. This is still something coming. So this picture, yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah, you don't want to show that.
I just got yelled at.
Not yelled, but that's a little too much. That's a surprise for next season. So
exactly, Clay. Exactly.
Wow.
We got to be careful what we show. We're still trying to ease everyone into this.
With that, no.
Never gonna get old.
Clay Simpson says, "Smell my." Sorry, Thomason says, "Smell my finger, Kosh." No, no.
Yeah, let's just pretend you guys didn't see that picture and just.
You're making two emphasis. Yeah, okay, go on. Yes.
Although I did send you a picture that you could use if you want to use that.
I can't show dick pics on YouTube. I told you this already.
No, I thought they were.
I didn't even know. Wow, dude, you were sexy when you were younger. Shit.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
A lot of things. What? He's an attractive man, dude. Like, wait till you see this picture. Damn. Look at that.
Oh, that's fun.
That's Keith with Ivanova.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that man and his fingers.
That's what she was saying.
Did you bring oranges?
If you know, I won't say anything. I don't want to. Nothing about you, Keith. It's about her.
Yeah, she's she
had a thing for playing a lot.
She was nice to me. She was very nice.
We now find out why Keith has a
very nice
attachment to Babylon 5.
And with that, the perversion level is leaving.
You started it. You had on Keith.
I said it was sexy. Okay.
Nah, she had an addiction problem, but not the type you think of.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean? What do I think of?
One of these butt plugs are not like the other. One of these things are.
It involved no chemicals.
Oh, okay.
Her addiction had to deal with. Yeah.
I enjoyed meeting her. She was very pleasant to talk to. She was there with another cast member from Babylon 5, and both of them were the talk of the event. It was amazing to have both of them there, because for me it's like one moment I'm watching them on TV, and then one particular weekend I'm in St. Louis, and there they are, and I'm peppering them with questions, and it's not like they would have all the answers, but
I gotta jump in.
Yeah.
Adega, you're also an asshole. Just because I write please retweet doesn't mean retweet, please retweet, you copycat.
Oh my
jerk.
He was being literal.
I was not being decent. No, let's not dish. Let's not dish too much right now.
Did you say out of character? You need to put the parentheses or something.
Speaking of Babylon 5, I ran a poll on my Twitter with, while not many responses still, Captain Sheridan was voted the best captain in sci-fi for the second year running. Admiral Adama was second.
His poll crossed all sci-fi, so it had Kirk and everybody else.
That's actually pretty cool.
I voted for Adama.
Of course you did. Getting back to subject, he doesn't mean retweet this one. Get it together, people. You don't get to say that after you did that, Zach. No, that doesn't make it stick. But yeah, go on, Keith. While someone's buzzing, someone shaving.
What are you talking about?
Not yet.
Yeah, are you hearing buzzing or something? Or
Did your toy turn on?
anyway,
that can be scary.
I sent you another picture.
No.
Where did you send it?
Let's see.
He slid up into your DMs.
No.
You have Facebook or Twitter?
This is the Facebook.
Oh, the Facebook. Okay, like friend face.
The friend face.
Okay, I gotta remove this one. I gotta get fresh share, make me do all the work. You lazy bastards. There we go. Stay tuned. Wait. Is that Marcus?
Yeah.
He looks so
Our
happy.
favorite ranger.
But they haven't introduced the Marcus yet. And they're off, ladies and gentlemen. So hard left, turn around, right, turn. No.
Wait, is that Tommy?
Yeah, it's the Power Ranger. Yes.
Other Ranger. I was gonna say it looked a little. Okay, now I recognize. He had the thingy staff, the Mambari staff thingy.
Can't you see the similarity?
Well, I mean, the other one had a mask on.
This is the first time he and I met, and we would meet several more times. I got a chance to know him. Really, really cool guy. Can't say enough good things about him.
Family man.
Yeah.
He does look strange beardless. I give you that, you Clay. Very fucking strange.
Wait, what?
He looks satisfied too, Keith. Thank you, Zach. I love you for that one. Ladies.
So, but this same event where a lot of other people like Dick Durock, which I asked him about, being in the Swamp Thing movie and television series and stuff like that. So, but I think this is also the event where I got a chance to meet again for the second time Andreas Katsoulis, who played Jakar.
Oh, great actor.
But I wasn't able to get my picture with him. So
yeah, it's those Narn regulations. It's really hard.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah, but let's get back. Come on. We're getting to the good parts here now. So we're pretty much that he's already said he has to release him, but he set something up on the release with Morden. He makes sure that not only is he released, but he makes sure Talia crosses paths with him.
Mm-hmm.
So to see if there's any type of read within close proximity. And this just sets her off in the most. She's freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
And why is she freaked out?
Oh, man.
Well, without getting into spoilers, knowing the motivation of, and this is a hint because she says it was dark and terrible and horrible, but knowing the motivation of the shadows, she got to see what real evil darkness as a society can be. She felt it. She saw it.
It's also knowing that leads us to where telepaths come from. We'll be getting into that too. So in future episodes,
I just have one quick comment for Adega. So what you're saying is the night is dark and full of terrors or shadows.
Depends on which star you're looking at.
Okay, I failed. Goodbye.
Well, also, she couldn't. I don't think she actually really registered the shadows that were with him, because had she been able to, they probably would have killed her on the spot. I mean, that's the whole thing about letting Morden go, and why Delenn and Kosh were worried. Anyone who can actually see the shadows, they probably would have executed them right on the spot. So she recognizes that there's something off about Morden, but she doesn't register the shadows with him. Very important, because that what she was able to do probably saved her life and the life of everyone on board that station.
Just what Steven's going through here, just as a cinematic scene, I thought was just brilliant. How he turns to shadow. Look at her acting right there. She can actually act for once on this scene. And then he goes dark. Just perfect. I thought that was awesome how they did that.
Yeah.
Hey, Apollomes, another member of the channel. Nice to see you here as well. Hope you're having safe travels on the road. But yeah, that was great delivery of not only good versus evil, but light versus dark, and I love that scene.
There you go.
Yeah. Anything else, Keith? Anyone else have anything to add? Because
aside from Zach joining the Nightwatch, not too much more. I mean, that's pretty much the episode, and really, welcome to the other side, kids. From here on in, buckle up, because things are about to get real interesting.
This is where the ride starts.
Yep, you got to be this tall to ride.
There are in literature. I have to do this because I write. But you have stories on TV. All the good ones will set the stage. You have to have the actors in certain places. You have to have the scene painted in the background. You have to have it to where people can recognize what the story is about. And the first season and a half, you're getting clues. You're starting to see the picture painted. And now you see enough of the picture to go, oh, this is not what I thought, and I'm really, really excited about it. Episodic sci-fi is one thing, but rolling downhill into bigger and bigger boulders, this is exactly what we're doing. And here we really, really get into it. The universe, just that whole scene with just Kosh and Delenn and Sheridan talking about what the universe really is, it takes off.
The fact is that it also is you're starting to get the introduction to the story of rebirth, of how the universe has been going through great wars, falls, rises, long before the human race was even there. But and it's showing that the story is a lot grander than just one station, that it involves pretty much the galaxy at this point, or the universe.
Yep. And that everyone you see, especially in that ending scene with Talia, everyone you've come to care about is going to suffer. I mean, that's the one thing about this particular story. No one's going to be unaffected. Everyone will suffer.
Hold on a second. And with that furry kitten, it's nice to see you here in your dress clothes. Welcome to the channel. Nice to see a new face there. Hope you're having a lovely day. This is literally also where we're starting to see where we're starting to hear is the year of fire.
I know. And at least we have more furries for this journey. Hi, furry kitten.
Zach says he loves it. Yeah, I think this is one of the best ones. This is finally an episode where we're actually able to talk about stuff that we've had to bite our lip for weeks and weeks.
Well, we can talk about some things, but
I know. I can't wait to watch it.
There's still a lot we have to hold back.
Yep. Awesome one says it's a Buddhist theory of infinite death and rebirth. Yes, because it also falls in the line of how the Minbari, that's why they stopped the war with the humans, because they found out that Minbari souls, or their energy, was being reincarnated in the human race.
Well, that's Hinduism, which is where Buddhism came from. So yeah.
This is gonna get there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna come right at you. But ultimately, once the shooting starts, quote unquote, things are gonna go by pretty fast. But there's enough pain for everyone.
Wow, you just summed up all of Last Jedi. That was great. I'm sorry. I had to make one joke.
There are certain characters that'll be coming back and asking for more, but yeah, there's enough pain for everyone to go around. So
all I know is the episode that I actually accidentally skipped ahead to again. Listening to your synopsis, I'm like, oh, this episode makes more sense now. A lot more sense. I'm like, wait a second. Here's an event that I don't really remember. Oh, it was in the previous episode. Gotcha.
That is the genius of what JMS and this writing staff have set up. It is it's the show that keeps giving.
It's the brilliance of creativity, imagination, taking a chance, which we're not seeing from anywhere from Hollywood, comic books, movie, anything. That's why, like, I think a lot of people are focusing on like the early 90s to the mid 2000s, if you're lucky, or the early 2000s. Is that they still had that? They had the edge comedy, the great story writing. Yeah, not everything was a hit, but they had the ability to have hit and miss, and these shows kept going. And now we're getting what? 4 or 5 episode miniseries or 3-parters or this and that, but it's not telling a full story. It's telling a 5-minute story over half an hour because they're playing it safe. JMS might have done something. He has done something incredible. Not everything landed, but there was enough there. It hit and filled everyone's belly to a certain point, and that's why Babylon 5 was so great. And I'll say with DS9 had the same type of thing. Yeah, sure, it was Star Trek, but it had the ability to do the same type of thing. And we're lacking that now. The inspiration for imagination and creativity. And
we especially recognize that after Las Vegas this weekend. You know, you're definitely not getting that from Star Trek right now. So
and quickly, I agree. One quick second. Spirian with the $3 super sticker giving the big ass thumbs up, which is freaking awesome. Thank you, Spirian, for also being a channel member. I will just like to say and give you, thank you, Rich Emma. What should we give him? What should we give him today? We'll give him
money. Give him money.
No.
Give me money. Give me money. Give me money.
Thank you, Spirian. It's so good. I like, honestly, everyone in the chat so far. We're not closing out just yet, but you guys just being here, whether you're a new subscriber, just listening in the back, you're a member, you're not a member, you're a mod. Like, I gotta say thank you guys for being here. Like, the show, that's how you feel sometimes. I bet this show would not be like the way it is. Like, we're growing, we're getting more people tuning in. I gotta say thank you, and I gotta thank the panel as well, because you guys are nailing it for all of us. Because you guys, if we wouldn't have a show if you guys weren't here. Memes eventually shows up here, so we do have a show eventually. But I do love him too, even though he's always late.
Whoa. This is the power of YouTube, because it's like, all right, you can go out there and just say stuff and things. You've been able to do that for years, but now you can actually have interaction. Isn't this what folks have always wanted television to be? It's like, I see it, I click it, I go there, and I can interact with people. It's a very beautiful thing as I'm phasing it out of existence. I'm totally not a shadow.
That's been a possibility for a long time. It's just now it's all you have to do is click a few buttons, and it's so easy.
I don't know why, but Keith's background always makes me think of Sesame Street.
Can you tell me how to get Keith? No, we do not dox here.
Nick says Babylon 5 managed to answer a question in such a manner it made me ask 3 more questions while growing characters not just in the show but in the viewers too. Yeah, I can agree with that. It's fucking awesome. Jester says love you too, Stevie. Okay, well, leave your love poems at the door and I will try to not read them. And then we have, does anyone know what the attendance at the actual con was? They got, I think it was around 900 people.
Really? Holy crap.
Or something like that. I'm guessing it was a lot of people.
Here's the thing, you brought up. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, hold on. Today's episode of Sesame Street was brought to you by the letter B and the number 5, because these are the Babylons of our 5. We're not done yet, guys. We're not done yet. Go ahead, Adega.
No, it was just you were mentioning about them playing it safe, and it's not really safe. But if we settle for mediocrity, instead of like you were talking about the 80s and the 90s, where you had really great shows and sometimes they bombed. Well, there's a reason for that. If you don't take a chance, you're not going to have the really great shows. And if you're going to have really great shows, it's guaranteed there are going to be bombs that fail. But if you want something really outstanding, just prepare to go through everything and let people do what they do best, and that's create.
Mm-hmm.
Can
disagrees.
Oh, I see. I'm gonna propose a hypothesis here. Now, I could be completely wrong here, but just with a lot of things going on with modern media, there seems to be a certain level of hostility between a number of different folks, depending on the particular observer. So I'm going to postulate right now, one of the things that made Babylon 5 such a great GD series, pardon my censored French my apologies for the French. Hey, this is a family show.
No, it's not. What are you talking about?
I was wrong again. Let me finish my freaking point. Now, all I'm saying is the sheer fact that, Keith, basically you kind of linked me to some different sources. And from what I understand is there were some early message boards. Forums, if you would, for Babylon 5, because this was around the time when America was getting online. And if you were to actually have fans of the show seeking it out, interacting with the staff and actually having some back and forth there, that's going to ensure that your fans are going to help keep you honest. So if you start to deviate at all, it's like, no, remember this from them. It's like, oh, maybe I'm not going to forget these characters. Maybe we can continue to branch out in all of these different formats, whether it's books, whether it's comics, whether it's the movies, this, that, and it just all entwines. And I think a lot of that was made possible by viewers like you.
And Chris,
you are not quoting PBS, are you?
I'm totally quoting PBS, dude. PBS Space Time is amazing.
All right. Before we get into that, Mountains of Elysium asks, who was Mr. Morden of Sesame Street? Snuffleupagus.
No, I think it was the Count. No,
1, 2, 3 shadows. Don't look at me. Gerry says, no one can stop me, but I can't stop myself, but I will not stop myself. Me watching Babylon 5. Yeah, you just keep going.
Yeah.
Mountains of Elysium says, we got Babylon 5, X-Files Space Above and Beyond, Stargate franchise because they took a chance they probably couldn't happen today. That is true. And yeah, don't ever watch MODOK. That MODOK show is horrible. I couldn't even finish it.
I'm actually going to disagree with that. I think we can actually do things like that more easily now. Like you could legitimately, with at least minimal funding and stuff like that. It's like if you got a green screen and enough things, I know Cuddles has done this and everything. He literally just has his garage. He just painted a whole bunch of green. It's like you just get a couple of folks that have some things, film some scenes. You could literally superimpose folks. Like we could literally make something like Babylon 5 with probably just like a lot of folks that we have around here, but that involves playing nicely together and getting along.
So, no, we don't do that here. We're all hate each other.
All I know is from what I hear is close-knit groups like in B5 is one of the reasons why I was also able to be done.
And before I forget, I agree with you, but before I forget, I have two things I have to quickly do. First of all, I forgot to do the Cabal, so everyone can look at that for a while. There you go. And then we have the Neil deGrasse codpiece. That's not his real body, trust me. I know, I fixed that picture. But yeah, I can agree with you. Colin P. Smith, very true. Crisco 5 in the future, yes. So just be an orbiting bucket of dreams. That's pretty much it. And Mountains of Lisbon says, I always thought that it was Big Bird. He looked like he had something to hide. He did.
You know,
schizophrenia.
The other thing about putting together a writing staff like what they had with Babylon 5 is you have to make sure that you have somebody like a Harlan Ellison to keep you honest, because Harlan's job was to mainly be that guy on the writing staff. And it's very rare to find someone who can do that, someone who's knowledgeable, but at the same time can be the a-hole of the group, be the obnoxious one, and whip everyone into shape, starting with the head guy. You know, Harlan Ellison's job in reality was to make sure that every script met the high standards that JMS had originally wanted to have. So his job was to even be slightly above JMS in that department, and to basically just, whip everybody into shape, basically.
And he actually had a hard job too, because he had the B team of writers. Because Star Trek took the A team. They did it on purpose. They wanted to squeeze out Babylon 5 as much as they can. So they took the best writers that were available, or at least they thought they were.
But see, that's the thing. If you know anything about Harlan Ellison and all of the awards he won in his life, this is the guy who is probably one of the best authors of the 20th century. And when you see interviews with this guy, he did not suffer fools at all. You were either meeting him on his level, or you're probably not working with him.
Yeah.
So
Mounds of Listening quickly says, one of the writers who did work on Babylon 5, Mark Zickery, is trying to get a new franchise off the ground. Has a lot of B5 actors in the show. Really? What is it called?
Yeah, Mark Scott Zickery is raising money through Kickstarter to do the episodes of the show, I think. And I think he was also one of the people behind Sliders.
That's another show we're going to do eventually.
I watched some of that.
You really need to catch Mark Scott Zickery and what he's about. I mean, he's on my short list of the top 5 people that, if given the opportunity, could probably turn Star Trek around like that. At the top of the list is J. Michael Straczynski. He could do it easy.
Space Command.
So what you're saying is, when this new show gets off the ground, you're going to be leaving us to executive produce that.
No, I will be.
You will be missed.
They won't let me anywhere near anything like that. And I don't blame them. They would never let me within distance of that. But if they were to announce tomorrow that CBS has decided to give up the ghost, kick out all the bad apples, and do real Star Trek, and they've hired JMS, it's automatically the best show on TV like that. I mean, I'm telling you, interest across the board is going to go up. And anyone that has ever been a fan of B5 or good Star Trek would be very excited. In fact, I'd almost expect the cast of the Orville to go, "Well, our job is done," and they discontinue the show. That's how good this would be.
Now we're getting close to closing out here. For those that have just arrived and didn't know, I'm going to break the announcement again. I've been in talks with Patricia Tallman, who played Lita Alexander on the Babylon 5 series. And next week, on the 23rd, if everything goes right, she'll be joining us at 5:15 p.m. Eastern for about 45 minutes. I'm very honored that she's going to join in, and hopefully memes will be on time. So will Keith. But we're going to make sure that we have a question period for the chat, and we're going to have some questions answered for the panel, and we're just going to have a good time and show her especially why we love Babylon 5 and how far this show has come, especially on YouTube. And I want you guys all to mark your calendars. I'll get the link set up when I get the StreamYard set up. Stay tuned to the community tab. I'll have it there. And I want you guys to share it out and just come by and give her a lot of love, because it's very rare to get something like this. And I'm so happy she said yes. Not many women say yes to me. It's really weird.
I will warn you, I'll be coming out of a major convention, I think, after when we do that episode. So I'll be kind of anyway. So
excited, or
it's going to be exhausting. It's definitely going to be exhausting. I know me. This is that weekend's going to be a lot, and a lot of friends are going to be there. A lot of really cool guests.
Quick question. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, hopefully they'll agree to do Pop Culture Minefield with Gerry and I, but we don't know. So
the Geiger, that was actually my second thing that I wanted to keep a secret. I actually wanted to invite Gerry and Az to come on to actually be part of that panel next week. So Gerry, if you're listening, or Az, if you're listening, hot toys. There is a panel slot open for both of you if you guys want to come in and ask some questions. I know I've gotten to talk to Az on a couple shows, but I would love to extend an invitation to Nerdrotic as well, because they're watching B5 also, like Kate and Zax and other people for the first time. And I want it to be just a good show. So I will reach out to them later today once I get everything set up. And I want to thank the chat most of all. Like, I don't care if you're members or not, or if you're subscribers, thank you. Listening in the background, thank you for getting this show where it is right now. We've been growing in viewers. It's been a lot of fun. The panel's been fun. Memes has also been a first-time viewer. I can't say thank you enough.
Wait! I remember Gerry. He used to own a comic shop. I like Gerry.
And memes. Oh, memes. He used to own a watch.
Oh, I did. I never really was good at it.
But I will reach out to them. And if you guys see that tweet, whenever it comes out, share it out. And do you guys have anything to add before we close out? Because this is going to be exciting. I'm excited. I'm also trying to work with Ivanova as well. And hopefully eventually Bruce. And then maybe JMS in the future.
Oh, now you have Keith's photos you can share.
Oh yeah, look at me when I hugged you uncomfortably.
You might want to mention that you're not Keith.
Yeah,
I will lie. That would be wrong.
I will also be opening up the community tab later with questions to be asked from the community. They're going to be there. Please keep them somewhat respectful. And I know there's a lot of hyperness coming, but that's where I'll pick out the questions. So stay tuned, and I will let you know as soon as that comes live. I really can't say thank you enough. Memes is the guy who will call you in 2 weeks later to let you know he just got the joke.
I will admit, I've been trying to catch up to Patricia Tallman for quite a while, because she's one of the few members of the cast that I've not met yet. So,
are you using me for clout, sir? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
it's a grift card. He has a card. It's all.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah. Don't steal content without it.
I just want to be able to ask a very important question of her. Who are you? That's my question for her. Patricia.
Oh, I see what you did there. So much such a thing as I shouldn't ask, what do you want?
And before we close out, does anyone have anything else to add?
I like at least one of next week's episodes.
How about you watch the ones that we actually talk about?
I try.
Stop jumping ahead and then screwing up your whatever system.
I swap between. I tried to get off the HBO. I had the kids account and this and that. I tried to actually be an adult, and the adult one stopped me ahead. I'm bad.
And with that, I want to thank the panel. You guys have been great. Thank you for coming on this journey. Keith for giving his time. I know he's having a lot of fun because he doesn't have to do any work. Adega sharing his toys. I'm sorry, Keith. I had to throw that in there as a joke. Keith, Adega, Memes, Monkey, Kate, you all have been great. Mods, members, you guys have been great as well. We're going to be doing episodes 17 and 18 next week. We're going to have a special guest if everything comes through. I can't wait. And with that, before we go to the outro, because everyone gets a laugh, well, we're most definitely do.
No. Give me money. Give me money.
At least you're honest.
And with that, I wish you guys a good night. Wherever you go, make sure to say it was a Fat Steven raid. I am trying to find my outro because I kept moving things around. So just give me a moment while I stutter.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Crisco, don't leave home without it.
Exactly.
And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the beats. We're out.
Yep.
I'm running out of time, 'cause I can see the sun light up the sky. So I hit the road in overdrive, baby. Oh, the city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. And I said, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No one can
Thank you all. You're amazing.
To infinity. And wait, where are we going?
Going to the watch store and you're buying a watch.
I had one of those.